First of all, yay. And thank you so much for checking this out. I'm really actually so excited to share. I have been a coach for a little bit over 4 years. My name is Lindsay Fortney. The Lindsay Fortney who came into coaching and the Lindsay Fortney who is here now are like two completely different people. And it's awesome, but I kind of want to paint you a picture of both so you can see kind of how things changed for me and what the beginning looked like, because my chapter 15 isn't going to look like your chapter 1, and that's one of the big things I learned with coaching. So when I came into this, I had over 50 pounds to lose. So I saw another mom, a busy mom who, ran a side business and had a full-time job. She was talking about these home workouts, and I was like, that sounds like maybe something I could actually fit into my day. With my husband, who works shift work, so he works 12-hour shifts. He's gone 14 hours at a time, night or day. At the time, my boys were 2 and 5 years old, so they were still pretty little and needed their mommy. And I had a full-time, thriving real estate business. So I was a busy woman who was feeling really tired and really overweight and really stressed out. And I knew something had to change for me. So I started my own health and fitness journey in an accountability group. Hesitantly, I was like, I don't know if this is for me. I'm a really private person. I am an introvert. Everything about this, I was like, is so not me. But also the things I had been doing in the past hadn't worked for me. So I was at that point where I was open to try something new. So I started to work out and I started to see really good results. And I was really excited because I didn't believe a whole lot in myself, but that group and that coach that brought me in believed in me before I even believed in myself. And I started to realize that there was a really powerful part of all of this that I kind of wanted to share with other people. And so my coach came to me and she said, you know what, like the way you post and you're so excited in the group and you're doing so well, I think you'd make a really great coach. And I was like, no. First of all, like I said, I'm really shy and introverted. I have this full-time business already that I'm swamped in. My kids are little. My energy is already, in 10,000 different directions. I don't have time for another thing. But it kept gnawing on me and I kept thinking about it, and I kept thinking about the power of finding that energy again and feeling like the better version of myself. And a little part of me was like, is it selfish to keep this to myself? Like, if I know there's this amazing thing out there, maybe this is something that I should share. So being the kind of person I am, I made my big pros and cons list. I sat down and I wrote everything out, and I went to my husband and I'm like, what do you think? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's totally up to you, but you're really happy and you're really enjoying this. Like, why not? Right? And I was like, okay. So I set my first goals, and, I had really fallen in love with drinking Shakeology for breakfast. And I was like, what if I could just pay for my Shakeology for breakfast? That would be, a good first goal to start with coaching. But before I could even get there, I had to wrap my mind around all of these other things that were standing in the way for me. So like I said, I felt like I was really busy and overwhelmed already. I was an introvert and I had no social media presence per se. I was one of those people who would only post on social media like 3 or 4 times a year for like a special event. And I shared a Facebook account with my husband. Like, we were a joint account. So we had like 100 friends and like half of them are mine. So I'm like, I have no social media like following, no expertise in this area. How am I ever going to build up an online business this way? I still had a lot of weight to lose. Like I said, I was really new in my journey. I had lost like 9 pounds, but I still had a long way to go. And I didn't have any fitness or nutrition background. And I was like, I don't know, like, I'm not an expert in this. I don't know if this is for me. And I kept thinking, what would people think? Like, what would people think of me when I start talking about this, when I start sharing about this? I was already in a business where sales were a big part of things. I was a realtor. I helped people find houses, but I had to sell houses and I had to help them find houses, and sales were a big part of that. And I was like, I do not want to be a salesperson selling some product all over the internet. That makes me feel icky. I don't like the idea of that at all. So those were the barriers that I kind of faced heading into coaching. Here's what I learned as I went, because I did decide to go for it. And like I said, I set that first goal of, okay, maybe I'll just, pay for my breakfast every morning and keep accountable to my health and fitness goals. That was my number one thing. I was like, if I don't help a single person with this, but I stay accountable and I actually reach my goals and I show myself that I can stick with this, that's so worth it to me alone. So that extra piece of accountability within the community and sharing, because once you put it out there, it's nice because you've put it out there. It's not just some deep, dark secret inside your head that you're going to let yourself down on over and over again, okay? So the busy thing. Really, it just came down to shifting some of my schedule and learning how to prioritize and time manage, which was not something that I was doing very well at that time. I was spending a lot of time at night going through Pinterest, scrolling Facebook, watching Netflix. There was like 2 hours every single night that were totally unaccounted for that I didn't do a whole heck of a lot. And I realized that I could actually do my coaching business in that pocket of time instead of doing those other things or only doing those other things. Like sometimes I could have Netflix on in the background, those kinds of things. So I started to find power pockets within my day. And here's a secret. Busy women make the best coaches. And do you know why? Because we know how to get things done. We're used to working under pressure, having a lot on our agenda, and knowing how to figure out how to get through those things. So I found these power pockets. Like I said, I was, if I was at an open house and it was quiet and nobody was coming in and I was stuck there for 2 hours, I'd think about things that I wanted to post, or I would message people that were in my challenge groups, or I would invite people to actually do programs with me and that kind of thing. I just found that little bit of time. When I was driving to and from my real estate appointments, I would listen to books and podcasts that inspired me and fired me up and made me excited to share that information with other people and just be a little bit of light maybe in a darker day. I really just, like I said, got better at time management, and I found that there was a lot of time in my day that was totally unaccounted for. The social thing, the best part is, and being an introvert, I learned how to talk to people. And I mean, I was doing that in real estate. I couldn't hide behind my computer screen. In real estate, I had to go out and I had to be at open houses and those kinds of things. It was something that made me very uncomfortable. But I learned how to actually talk to people in a better way and how to do it in a way that made me feel comfortable. And the best part is, being an introvert, 3/4 of my business is done behind the computer screen. So I got to get really comfortable with that. And it took some time, but also it was this whole brand new outlook I had on myself of pushing myself outside of my comfort zone and really trying to change things, because the way I had been doing things in the past hadn't worked or served me very well. So it was part of this newer version of myself that felt stronger, more confident, willing to step outside of that comfort zone. I've made notes so I don't go off topic. The sales thing, I was like very adamant that I wasn't going to be somebody who posted products all over my page and was like, this is on sale, grab this, do this, and hassled my friends and made them feel uncomfortable. I was like, I do not want that. And the good thing is, that's totally not what we do. So my goal was just to add value to people's lives and share every single day the things I was learning, the things I had learned already, and the solutions I had come up to some of these problems that I had. And not just health and fitness. Like, there's a lot of things that kind of came together for me when I started to take better care of myself. And I'm sure you guys can relate to that. But when I started to exercise and make time for myself, all of a sudden I had more patience and I could deal with people better. And I could, I had more energy to get things done. And then all of a sudden, I was taking on decluttering my house, because a decluttered house just gave me more freedom and time to do the things that I wanted to do. And I would share about that, and I would just kind of share, bits and pieces of my life and how things had changed for me. And I also found a way to share the things I was struggling with and to try to reach out to find solutions for those things. So all of a sudden, my social media became a really, really positive space. And the people that were filling my social media were a lot more positive too. And people would say to me, like, you brightened my day today, or thank you for, sharing these sorts of things. And that kind of grew as my confidence grew, and I kept just giving value to people. People came to me and people wanted to join me. And when I would talk to them about, what I was doing, because it was awesome and I loved it, they were like, tell me more. Like, I want to know more. And it really just came together really seamlessly. And we have the best training for everything. We are in the top Canadian team. And we have training and access to everything you could ever need or want. So whether it be social media training or conversations or even taking better pictures and those kinds of things, it's all stuff that we learned as we went. Okay, and that leads me to like what it is we do as coaches. And we're gonna have another video about this, but I'm gonna just run through it really quickly. There's 4 main things that we do every single day as a coach. And you might already be doing some of them. And if you're not, the things that you can add in are amazing, and they're gonna make your life better on every level. So the first thing is we use the stuff that we're trying to share with other people. So I'm using the workouts. I'm using, I drink Shakeology for breakfast, and I use Energize. I love it. It's the best thing since sliced bread for me as a tired mom who doesn't love cardio but needs that boost. Recover. I like to use it after workouts so that I'm not sore and I can walk and still do things in my life. I eat beach bars. Do you have to have every product that's ever been known to Beachbody? Of course not. But you'll have some kind of knowledge of it, or you have some kind of experience of it that you can share. And hopefully the reason you're here is because you've had a positive experience with the workouts or the community or like I said, that, Shakeology or Energize or whatever. And it's really easy to talk about things when you really love them and you're using them. So that's the big piece right there. And we're getting results. So it's like the best job ever because you're getting in the best shape of your life and you're going to get paid to do it. So for me, I was like, yeah, I can get on board with that. The other thing is what I was talking about before is just sharing what we're actually doing. So we're doing it and then we're sharing about it. So I love that with the invention of like Instagram and Facebook stories, I can kind of go through my day and be like, hey, this is what I did, or hey, this is what I used, or oh my gosh, I was so tired and then I had my Energize and rainbows and unicorns. It really gives us a way to kind of share, again, more value, like recipes, things we've tried, things that haven't worked, maybe our favorite move from our workout, whatever. And posting and sharing on our social media, it's unreal to me as somebody who was in real estate and had to pay hundreds of dollars to advertise, that I have all of these avenues in front of me that are actually totally free. We can get more complicated as time goes on and you grow. Of course, you can learn more and find different avenues. But to start, you have your own, Facebook or your own Instagram page that you can just share on, and you can talk about these things that are changing your life and these things that you're learning. And it's like this endless world of possibilities. I have clients in the United Kingdom. I have clients in the United States. I have clients from East to West Coast in Canada. Women who have made my life so much better that I would not know if it weren't for coaching, because I have this computer and this amazing resource of social media to actually reach out to these people and make connections with these people and really bridge the gap of any kind of geographical distance. We're expanding to France next year, and they've given us a big map of the areas that they want to continue to expand for. So really, geography is not an issue here. When I was selling real estate, you had to kind of live in the area, or I advertised in my area, and I didn't have, endless possibilities. It was very geographically kind of dictated. But with this, you're so open to the possibilities. Okay, the next thing we do, so we've done the first 2. The third one is personal development. And we were laughing about this, some other coaches and myself, because we're like, I don't really need personal development. Personal development is like self-help. You go to that self-help section in the bookstore. I'm like, I'm confident. I'm pretty happy. My life's pretty good, whatever. And then it's like, okay, no, there's always things we can work on. There's always some aspect of our life that we can improve on. And that has been the biggest game changer for me. So it's like, I'm doing these workouts and I'm watching my nutrition and I'm learning from the nutrition workshops and those kinds of things. But now I'm also actually making my heart and my brain healthy as well. So I'm feeding it with these amazing books and these amazing podcasts and, webinars and things. I'm constantly learning, and I love to learn, and I love to try to be a better version of myself. There's always something I pick up in anything I listen to that maybe I haven't thought about it that way before, or I didn't realize that was something that I actually struggled with and that I could improve on. And personal development is that. It's that game changer that really, really takes you from being where you are, maybe you're stuck or stressed or overwhelmed, to being next level and to feeling next level. And I could just go on forever, but that's basically the gist of it. Okay, and the last thing is recognition. So this is pretty easy. You've probably seen before a coach or myself post, a shout out to somebody that has had amazing success with their weight loss journey, or even, a big mindset journey. Or it can be as simple as messaging somebody that's joined you and is excited about, that they went down a pant size, or that they have more energy and they can chase their kids up the stairs again, and messaging them and being like, you know what, I'm so proud of you, congratulations. Their recognition takes on this whole big thing, but basically it's being a great human and celebrating other people and the things that they're doing, not just within your team or within your own challengers, like everybody. And it's really what makes this whole community incredibly unique and incredibly special. We love to celebrate and share this. We love to share the resources. We love to share the information. We love to share the successes, and we also love to share the failures and learn from those too. So that's something that's really unique. Again, coming from that real estate background that was really competitive and not necessarily like very sharey, this is recognition, is that little bit of something extra that really makes this special, and I love it. Okay, last thing and then I'm done. When I started coaching, I had absolutely no intentions of leaving my full-time real estate job. I liked it. It was stressful, but I was making a crazy good income, and it was increasing every year, and I saw endless possibilities with it. And then things changed for us. So if you don't know my story, our oldest son became sick at 5 years old. So going from kindergarten into grade 1, all of a sudden he was not feeling well, and there was all these issues, and we didn't know what else to do. We didn't know, sorry, technical glitch. Okay, so my son was going into grade 1, he became ill, and it just started this whole crazy journey for us of medical appointments and hospital stays and specialists, and it just became all consuming. It was unreal. And there was it's kind of like a medical mystery. Like there's all these different avenues, and we've had multiple diagnoses, and it's just like nothing has ever been clear. It's been clear as mud. So throughout this, I'm running this coaching business, and thank goodness I was taking care of myself and learning how to take care of myself. Exercising, which was huge for stress relief. I could lean into this community of coaches, which was amazing, and my challengers, they were so incredibly supportive. I really had that support network piece of things, which I don't know how I would have got through all of this without that, because it was hard. It was hard for my husband to talk about it. It was hard for, it would have been all we talked about if that was the case. So having that outlet was absolutely incredible. And so we're going through all of this, and at one point I was like, okay, this is just bananas. I can't do everything. I can't do all of this together. And I made the decision driving home from a vacation in Florida that I was going to leave real estate and actually focus on this coaching business. My husband was entirely supportive. He agreed. Real estate had gotten very, very toxic and difficult for us. It just wasn't serving our family well at all. And coaching did. Coaching did so much positive things. There wasn't really anything negative that coaching was doing for us. And the possibility to earn the income, and hopefully replace my real estate income was very real and very possible. So I made that decision. And a year and a half ago, I actually left real estate, and I never, ever, ever thought I would. And that's not necessarily the path that people want to take or need to take, but it was very amazing that after going through what I had gone through and having the option of somewhere to go that lit my soul on fire, that gave me something I could do from home, something that was flexible, something that worked with our lives and could allow me to still be the advocate I needed to be for our son's health. Absolutely priceless. So there's just a lot of different ways to look at this, and there's a lot of different ways this can fit in people's lives. There are some people who come right into this and want to crush it and want to make this a full-time gig, and they can totally do that, and they can do that with our help. Or there's people that want to do this kind of on the side, and they want that just as another option and another open possibility. Having an online business is such a great way to diversify and have extra income sources coming in, and just to really fuel that passion and help people. And that's what we are so big on. We want to help more people. We want to impact more people. We want to make things more positive for them. And we can't do that by ourselves. We need other people to help us do that. And if that sounds like something that you would love to do, then this is something that you should really think about doing.